my main channel. So I wanted to do my top 5 books of the year. Um, I know probably should have filmed this like last year. I know that sounds so weird to say, but I just thought of this video like 2 seconds ago or 2 minutes ago. So I'm gonna start off with the Frida McFadden books because I have been loving her books, and I'm just going to go by which book I liked best to least. So that would probably be my first one is The Boyfriend. Now this was intense. This book just like was a roller coaster, and it just it's crazy. Like when I started reading this book, I didn't know what to expect at first, but this book I highly recommend, and this is why I'm putting it on my top 5. This book was just it was crazy. This book is about so it says Sydney Shaw, like every single woman in New York, has terrible luck with dating. She's seen it all. Men who lie in their dating profile. So basically, Sydney, she is on this date with this guy named Kevin. And after their date, he walks her to her house, and she like anticipates him kissing her, but she is getting like creepy vibes from him, and he won't leave her alone. So she like sees this other guy walking down the path or the sidewalk, and he notices what's happening, and he comes over and he asks Sydney if she's okay, like, did that guy hurt you? And I loved reading this book. Like, I would definitely recommend this book. So that's the first one. The second one is called The Teacher. This one was very good. I really liked it. It's about a girl who goes to high school, and she has a crush on one of her teachers. I can't remember what kind of teacher he was, but she's like 15, 16, and he's like much, much older than she is. And she has a romantic relationship with this man, her teacher. So reading this book, I was just like, oh, heck no. Like, why are they sneaking inside of a janitor's closet and making out? This book was also a roller coaster. But I enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend you pick this book up if you guys like suspense / thriller books. That's basically what Frida McFadden writes about, which I'm very much into. So this book was just like, it was crazy. Like, I don't know how else to say it, but like when I was reading like the smut, it was intense, and I wasn't expecting her to actually like have feelings for her teacher, which is kind of weird. I mean, who has feelings for their teacher, first of all, and who makes out with their teacher in a janitor's closet? That's kind of sketchy. But I mean, it's high school, so some girls are just like that in high school. But really liked reading that, so that's my second. My third book is The Coworker. Now, this book was crazy. And basically, this book is about these two coworkers. And there's this one coworker who is obsessed with turtles, like obsessed. And her coworker notices that there's this like figurine of this turtle on her desk, and she looks around and she doesn't see her coworker, and she's just worried that her coworker is like running late to work, and her coworker's always on time. Like it's crazy. So she goes to her boss and she's like, "Hey, my coworker hasn't showed up to work yet. I'm gonna go to her house to make sure she's okay." So basically do a welfare check on her. So she goes to her house and she has to go to the back of the house to unlock it. And she notices that the door's unlocked already. So that kind of creeps her out a little bit. So she goes inside the house, and from there, it's just suspense. I'm not going to give everything away if you haven't read The Coworker, but this book was very intense. So I would definitely recommend you read The Coworker. And Freida McFadden's books, you don't have to read them in like a certain order. You can read them like in whatever order you want. So that's one thing I like about Freida McFadden's books, is that you don't have to read them in a certain order. So that was the third book. Now, Holly Jackson, I have her series, like her 1 through 3 books. But this book, 5 Survive, is crazy. So there's these 6 friends, but only 5 of them survive. So basically, they're in an RV, and I think they're going camping, and one of them is holding this secret, and the other 5 don't know what the secret is. So there's this moment where they're like arguing about who this person who has a secret is. And her name's Red. So Red is the one with the secret, but all her other friends don't know that she has a secret. So this book is just like, you're not expecting what comes next. So you're just gonna have to read it to understand it, because it's that good. Like, it's that good. So I don't know if this is like the 3rd or the 4th book or the 5th book. But I enjoyed this book very much. So I enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed knowing what happens at the end. Okay, so They All Had a Reason by Michelle Leathers. This book is crazy. Like, I wasn't expecting to read such an amazing book, but I'm just going to read the back of it. So 16-year-old Charlotte is convinced her life would be perfect if she could only get past the one obstacle holding her back, a girl named Bellany Silverfield, who seems to have it all: beauty, popularity, power, and the boy of Charlotte's dreams. But when Bellany is murdered, Charlotte's life doesn't get any better. In fact, it gets much worse. Charlotte worries that circumstantial evidence and rumors of motive will make her a prime suspect. she's forced to question the loyalty of her closest friends and to place her trust in a boy she barely knows. But one of these people is definitely lying to her. So Bellany is kind of like the popular girl, and she's kind of like the mean girl to Charlotte. And Bellany and her twin brother are having their Sweet 16 at their house. And Charlotte comes over because her boyfriend's there. And so Charlotte goes to the party and she sees Bellany, and she hates Bellany, like with all her feelings. And Bellany pushes Charlotte down her basement stairs, and she locks the door behind her. So Charlotte has to figure out a way to get herself out of the basement. And this book is just like, I didn't really enjoy it just because it was confusing. Like, you're wondering if Bellany is like really dead or if she's just faking it to get attention. So Charlotte and Wade are going to the cemetery to see if Bellany is actually dead, and they open her casket to realize that Bellany's not in her casket. And it was just like a roller coaster of emotions when I was reading this book. But I don't know if I'd pick up another one of these books, but I mean, I haven't read any other books from Michelle Leathers, but I'm willing to branch out and to try and yeah, so those are her books that she has written. So this one is this is number 2. So I think I read number 1. So I need to read the rest of her books. So yeah, this book was okay. I would probably rate it like a 3 out of 5 stars. But yeah, guys, those were my top 5 books of 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your top 5 books were in 2024. I'm sorry. And I would love to know. So please like this video, subscribe, and until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.